Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mindustry, or Ministry, however you want to pronounce that. Continuing on with the campaign, this time moving on to level 4, which is going to be the Craters. Now the very description of this says that it is for collecting sand to get Metaglass, which is what I neglected to do last map. Whoops! I was in a desert and everything, I could have made Metaglass so easily. Just requires, Metaglass requires lead and sand, just 1 unit of each. It's very easy to make. I actually just skipped that, went straight to silicone, which is awesome. The upgrades you get for silicone is amazing here in the tech tree. Metaglass is kind of only for a couple things, in particular for getting conduits and some other pump-related things. But we're starting to move into the point where we're starting to use liquids. The Craters has a giant lake in the middle, and you use that to do a bunch of neat things. So it doesn't require Metaglass in order to even really properly, fully take advantage of this map. Now, one comment to make, though, is I did unlock with silicone the ability to create launch pads. Now, launch pads, what they do is they allow you to take things in the middle of a mission and immediately launch them to your launched resources. So instead of bringing them to your core where you can use it to build stuff with on the map, you can send it immediately to your launched items so that you can open up the tech tree like this in the middle of a mission and unlock new tech. So I can create a launch pad which requires power, so I'm gonna have to power this somehow, so I have to work on that. And then hopefully what I'll do is I'll make some steam generators and stuff down here. Use combustion to get power at first, then I'll turn it into steam. Steam will give me a whole lot of power because it gives me 360 each. So I use my coal to get a lot of power with water, and then from there I can launch stuff into my tech tree so I can get conduits. So I send stuff to my launch items so I can get conduits so that I can actually fully take advantage of this map. Big explanation. So anyways, the Craters is exciting. The one sad thing though is this map does have scrap on it. Unfortunately, there is actually a way to turn scrap into, you melt scrap down into slag, and then slag you turn into various components. In particular, you can get graphite and titanium from it. So this is a way I can get the next resource that I need after Metaglass. Now, that's amazing and stuff. So this map doesn't technically have titanium on it, but it does have scrap, which can be turned into titanium. However, in order to even build the separator, I need titanium. So I have to have some titanium on the map, whether I launch with it at the beginning. Unfortunately, you're not capable of configuring your loadout to launch with the resources, not that I have titanium yet anyways, but regardless, the reason I point that out is because this map you could be generating a lot of extra resources with scrap. Unfortunately, I do not currently have that capability, so while I have scrap, I can't do super awesome things with it just yet. But anyways, we're going to be working with pumps and making Metaglass this time, and that's what we're going to be doing for this particular session. Alright, so here we go. Mission number 4, the Craters. Alright, as usual, I do like to start mining a little bit right off the bat. You know, let's do like this, just to make sure we evenly distribute everything a little bit better. Okay, so that's copper. That's great. This is worthless. We have 2 minutes until the next wave, so I'm fine. I'll go ahead and use this. It might hate me now. We'll see. Yeah, used up all my copper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to scramble and get copper as soon as possible. Here we go. Get some other things first, but I think I'm actually going to focus on copper right now instead. Like normally I would try and get some lead going, but I think I'm going to focus on copper instead. Like if I get all my copper going like real heavy right away, then I think I'll be better off. This is actually really awkward. Look at this setup right here. This coal is like super precious, but it's right in the way. Oh, hey, look at that. So when I pause, I can like go down and then drag it back again. So I can change the direction without actually having to like rebuild it completely, without having to erase it. It seems like this little glowy effect is nice and pretty this time. Like, they made it so like the build animation is quite fancy looking. It's like glowy, kind of. I like all the updates. The UI has like gotten really nice. Okay, so I'm thinking eventually I can make a bridge across this is what I think I'm going to do. For now, we're going to go ahead and keep doing this though. Okay, well, one thing I got going for me is there is coal, a couple of things of coal right here. And there's coal right here, so I can totally route all this over here to the right, and then just make it meet up with that, and they'll all go on the same conveyor, so that'll be great at some point. Alright, let's get some lead going. I'm going to make a bridge across here, but I need some lead in order to make bridges, so here in a second I'll be able to do that. Now, at this point we got lead coming. I think my first objective is going to be making a defense now. Are they over here? Ooh, they're not over here. That's where I've always seen them last times I played this map. Dang it, there's coal here. Well, I guess it's fine. They're pretty close here. Alright, How much copper do I have? Not a lot. Not much. I can still use... I want all this coal like crazy. This is not too bad. It's a little closer than I would have liked, but I don't know how close I need to be in order to actually make this super functional. This is gonna eat up my copper like crazy. Luckily I have all that copper income, so everything's pretty happy there. Sort of sad that I'm not gonna be able to get the scrap, but again, I'm not using it for resources, so I guess it doesn't matter too much for this map. I can't separate it yet, which is really a bummer. I love separating stuff for resources. I'm not gonna be able to get these done in time. You know, let's cancel. Let's get some copper going right away. Come on, get done. I think I'll get there in time that these can actually attack. Just barely. Oh my goodness. So close. Nice. Whoa, the graphics changed on the attacks. What the heck? They have like a shadow now. Did it, man, did it update again? Like, seriously, I was recording this just a few days ago. What the heck? Like, so many things changed in the last little while. That's cool. Like, you know, I don't know. I've seen, like, games update pretty frequently, but that's exciting. I guess I could, like, remake these or something. Is that silly? In fact, what if I made these totally square instead? I mean, the one thing about that, though, is if I have this all a little higher, then they're not going to attack, like, down. I have more room to make defenses and stuff, so that's true. Maybe I should do that. Should shut these up. Now, lead can be used in the base. In fact, actually, speaking of lead, this was a big chunk of it, too. So let's make a bridge. Where's the bridge? Over here. Okay, this will take lead from that guy. Put it over here. Do we want to make coal first? Probably. I need graphite, so... Need graphite ASAP. You know, actually... Whoa, what the heck? I can pick it up and drag it? What the heck? That's weird. Just like single tiles. Huh. I guess that makes sense, especially if you're using the copy function. That is so weird, though. Okay, go copper. Go copper, go! Okay, we got coal. Unfortunately, like what I'm doing is oh man. Can I position these in such a way where I'm getting every single piece of coal? Yeah, I can do something like that. It's really awkward though. Okay, so check this out. What we can do is we can bridge across here. These are all coal anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if we go like this now. Okay, now what's going to happen is all these are going to generate coal, and they're putting it over here. Ugh, copper. Do I need more copper? I thought I had a pretty decent amount of it, but maybe I don't. I would want to bet that there's more coal up on the top right, too. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, that's a good amount, too. So much coal. This is great. You know, this is kind of silly, like I'm making all these mines. I'm going to replace all these with pneumatic here. And... boom. Okay, so the question is, where do I make graphite? Now, I'm thinking just down here, like closer to the base. I'm not going to use it for ammo or anything, so let's just bring all the stuff down. Like, so I need coal for metaglass, and or not metaglass, I need it for silicone, and I need it for graphite for now. So, and I also need it for power. I feel like I need more copper. My copper keeps running out. Okay, so we got stuff going here. Now let's do... what does it cost anyways? Just copper. Wow, lots and lots of copper. Alright. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something like this. Bloop. I'm going to make some bridges across so I can actually get back to the base pretty well. Boom. There we go. So now I have a couple different options for getting back. So, we can do like this. Gotta get graphite to base ASAP. And I'm not looking at the attack waves, which maybe that's a bad thing. Yeah, this is totally plugging up. I'm gonna need... I don't want to make a second thing of copper up... Wow, look at this. Okay. I definitely need a second thing down here, at least. There we go. And then here too. Just in case. Alright, so that'll work. The other thing I could have done is I could have just routed all this stuff around to that side. Whatever, this will accomplish the same thing. Alright, so look at all that graphite. In fact, it's like full. You know, the one problem about having this distributor here, maybe that is bad. Let's not do that, actually. Let's do it like I was just saying instead. So go all the way back. Go back the long way around. Okay, so now we can do like this. Boom. And, you know, here's a fun thing about this too. Like, see here I'm doing this? I don't have to do it that way. Like, in fact, I can just go like this. And then boom. Now, I guess actually that's not entirely true. You know, I just did that thinking I was being clever, but that's actually bad because this mechanical drill is touching this conveyor. I need this conveyor to be copper. So that's actually probably better if I keep it the way it was. And then instead I go like that. There we go. That's the way I had it. It's great. So what I can do is, you'll notice like this is backed up like crazy. I can do something like this. I can have power wherever, but if I make it like back sort of in an entrance somewhere, like if I make it over here somewhere instead, boom, combustion generator, boom, 36 units of power. This makes 60, so I need at least 2 of them. Now a kiln requires sand and lead. I think there's only sand right here. This is sand next to the water. So there's water. Water is very valuable. I'm going to be using it for things, and otherwise this pumps sand. So, I can put it half on the water, I guess, if I need to. The water is precious, so I don't really want to waste it. I think what I'll do is I'll actually do it up here, because I have lead and stuff around here anyways. So let's do something like this. Maybe I should be working on silicon, which also needs sand and coal. Otherwise, I probably need, yeah, I need both silicone and graphite. Okay, so I should definitely get steam as soon as possible. That'll be more efficient for my use of coal for power. But that'll also allow me to get... So do I even need power then right now? Maybe I don't even need these right now. I guess, you know, honestly, it would have been cheaper rather than blowing that up, is I could have just done this. There we go. How's this doing? Are they even hitting anything? They are damaging a little bit. It's not like a lot though. You know, I'm a little bit paranoid about air coming here. And I don't know, like, it seems like air usually follows a set path. Like, they all kind of go to the same area usually. Like, say they always go to the right or something. They're going to always go that way. So I don't actually know what that direction is yet. Every scrap of coal. Let's route coal like this. Meow. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's even more. Wow, how much coal is there? Like... I think just to be, like, so I'm not, like, cluttering everything up down here, I'm actually going to route this over here, which is a long path, but I have this kind of philosophy about this game where distance doesn't matter. Like, sure, I could have gotten a couple units of coal down south a little bit sooner, but as long as I have the resources to build something like this, it doesn't matter. But this way I can keep it all to one conveyor belt. Rather than having another conveyor belt go through here, I can just keep it nice and clean, so my input is just over here. Like, there's no way that this amount of coal is going to fill up all this, you know? But I guess this is not bottlenecked by the size of this conveyor belt, so I'd rather have just a single, clean input. And in fact, for that matter, like, for example, instead of routing this all down here, I could route this all behind and go over here. Now, unfortunately, this is totally full. The reason it's full is because it's bottlenecked down here, though. I need more output for this. Like, I could, just for now, maybe it's fine, even. I could just go ahead and do another one of these. Alright, so next. So we have graphite coming in. I can go ahead and increase my production on something. I think what might actually be pretty helpful, even though this might seem a little weird, is to go ahead and do my lead down here. Not that I'm using very much lead, but I just want to make sure that it's happy. Like, I could route more lead from up north, but I don't really want to. This is actually, like, really good copper down here. Like, a lot of these are sets of four copper nodes at once, so this is actually, like, super good copper income right here. So of all the different copper things for me to do, this is the best for now anyways. Like, later missions, I feel like there's enough copper around the map that you want to blow all these up so you have more inputs to the base, because you just can't afford, like, these inputs are so precious and you have so many resources that are coming in. For these earlier missions, it doesn't really matter too much. So for later missions, I would blow up these top ones, for example. I leave the bottom ones for for copper, but the upper ones I would actually destroy so that I don't have like those shenanigans where, for example, where I couldn't put the graphite down here earlier because I had to leave this as copper because it was right next to that drill. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so at this point, my lead is looking pretty good. Now lead will end up becoming metaglass, so if I... Do I even need water for a lot of stuff? I'm going to make pumps and stuff, but... See, what I can do, this is kind of fun. Let's check this out. You make a pump. Well, it requires metaglass, so I can't do that yet. Okay, do I do metaglass or do I work on silicone? I think I should work on silicone because that'll also give me power. This requires coal. That'll use up some of this coal anyway. So whatever, that's fine. I'm going to do it down here. And eventually I'm going to route some of this back up to the defense for hails. So, let's take... I need sand and coal to do this. There's actually like not a lot of sand here in general. And I'll show you what I'm doing here in a little bit. It'll be pretty cool. I'm going to be using like all this coal though. Like, I really will. Alright, it seems like that's solved the problem now. It's moving constantly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up and I'm not going to be sending all the coal here. So, and maybe I'll set up some overflow valves or whatever and we'll have it go somewhere else. And I'm going to be using it to make other things like silicone here in just a second. The reason I place these here is because I'm going to eventually put some pumps here. Now, pumps will increase the speed of everything touching it. And the placement of these is actually kind of nice. Like, what'll happen is... 60, which would be faster if I had water. How much does it speed it up? Water increase... Wow. 2.56 times the effect? What? Was it always that good? You know, I think maybe it's actually just proper now. I think it would say something like... It used to say something like 1.4. And I think it was actually 1.4 in addition to what it already was. So it was actually like 240%. Does that make sense? So now it says 2.5 times speed. So I think that's actually more accurate. The old tooltip just looked weird because it would say 1.4 boost, and then you're like, what does that mean? Now it says times, so, and it's a higher number. So I think that's actually more accurate to what it actually is. Water boosting stuff makes it significantly more powerful. I think I'm actually going to get rid of these. I was doing these for sand. I think I'll just use these ones instead. Now let's make these ones go south, and I will connect them to... I just had this weird thought. I could route it through the water. Maybe that would be a good thing. The water's precious, but I know that looks weird. It'll make sense here in a little bit why I did it that way. Okay, so the cool thing about the reason couple reasons I did that. I still have room for pumps here, so the pumps will affect all these. That'll make sense here in a moment. The other reason is so that I have sand on this side too. I have way more than enough room for the sand, or rather than, because this is not sand, this is just gray stuff, is nothing. So now I still have a full block of 4 sand here that I can use. And my room is kind of precious, the amount of space I can use, so I am utilizing it all very well. In fact, that's already filling up. Wow. Okay, let's, you know, can I bridge? I mean, how far can I bridge anyway? I can't bridge 4 tiles. Nope. Let's see what happens once I get this cleared off. I'm actually surprised. This might be enough sand for like a long time, just as is. Let's go check this wave and see what it looks like. It's fine. This block is only half damaged anyway already. Or like, that's as far as it's gotten. Once air comes, I'm gonna be hurting though. Silicone. Boom. Let's do 4 of them. I have no idea how many I need. Actually, that's bad. I can't have it right next to those. Or at least... There we go. I can't have that one. The reason is because I needed to have these guys right next to it. If they were here, they'd be putting stuff onto these belts. So again, I have to have one space away in order to do the inputs. I have to have inputs, otherwise it'll try and spit silicone into the inputs, and then that'll screw it all up because it'll clog with silicone. I need these to be filled up with sand and coal. So, alright, let's take... so if we had coal going in here and here, here and here, boom. You know, I'm thinking even, why not just take all the coal from below, from the south, and just put it over here? So instead of doing this thing all the way through here, what if I use that belt for something else? And instead, go like this. So what this says is, if this is totally full, then send coal over this way. And what that'll do is it puts it over here. So if there's if coal is not being produced or not coming through here, then it will send it up here, which then it'll go to graphite in this case. But I'm going to route things around here a little bit differently in a second. So now all this coal is going to silicone. Go ahead and upgrade all these. So it was all bottlenecked before, but I think I'll use this all up for sure. So you'll notice it is spitting some out over here. And these aren't full yet either. Part of what's happening is, like, this is just, it just keeps spitting these out every once in a while. I want to make sure that it's trying to fill these all up. In fact, what's going on here? It is filling this up slowly. Okay, I don't know. Alright, whatever, good enough. Now sand, on the other hand, I can totally just let this, I really don't care too much about sand, or like, if sand overfills or whatever, I really don't care. It's fine. Alright, so what I did is I made 2 flows of sand. One goes over here, one goes over here. I actually have enough room to do another whole silicone smelter over here. And next I need power to all these. So we place one, I like to place a power node like right over here so it touches all of them. Alright, so once again, it takes two things. These make 60 apiece. These cost 30, I think it is, for a silicone deal. Silicone costs 30 power units. Yep. Boom. This keeps the flow of coal moving. Burning a little bit of that. That should be enough to power all these. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it go across right here. I'm trying to get to this bridge so I can utilize this and send it through here. But the other reason for doing that is that I actually want to I want to route, like make overflow of this, or just route it in general, make it go up towards the defense. So I can make some of this silicone production take stuff over there. So if I have an overflow gate here or something, or right here, then it can shoot it up this way and send it up there. So as soon as the base is full, I'll do that. Now the other thing I could do too is I can launch some of these to my launch resources too. I feel like my defense would be more important at the moment, but that is a potential option. Alright, so we got silicone coming to the base. This should all be good. Great, okay, so we got silicone. Let's work on Metaglass. Now, Metaglass will allow me to increase my sand production and stuff too, as well. Now, unfortunately, I think I might... This is really full. I think some of these actually aren't firing right now, which is going to be a real big problem because let's do like this. Let's make a bridge across right there. See, what's interesting about this is I can totally put steam in the water, which will make sense here in a little bit. Okay, we got sand. Metaglass takes lead. And how many? 1 sand, 1 lead. I don't really want to route a bunch of stuff through here. Like I could send lead up here. There's already some lead here anyway, but I could send some lead up through here. I'm thinking what I'd rather do is I can even send lead, even though it seems weird, I can send it from here up through the top. And that might be cleaner, just so I don't have to worry about it as much, because I'm going to have anti-air like there, like here, and down here somewhere. So I can fill this up with towers instead, so I don't have to worry about covering up this lead because I have lead coming from the opposite side of the map, which I realize that seems redundant and stuff, but I think it'll actually be good. Alright, so with that being said, I'm going to use this and this for generating Metaglass. Alright, got lead. Another thing I could do too is I can use scrap for the ammo for my turrets as opposed to lead. I'm not sure that it matters for this map, so it's kind of whatever's easiest. The problem with scrap is it's kind of sporadically all over the place, although, like, I do have this amount of scrap right here. Like, I can send this and this over here for anti-air, and that might make more sense right now, and I can just not worry about all the scrap in the middle at all. Like, I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to build, like, around it so I still had room for towers and stuff. I think I'm just not going to worry about it. If I was melting it down, I would totally do that, but I think it's not going to matter. Oh yeah, speaking of which, what do I need for steam? In fact, I already have everything I need. Alright, we're going to upgrade to steam now. Okay, so check this out. So steam requires coal sent to it. Oh, I need Metaglass first to get the pump. So these don't even have any water. I'll finish building this just because I am building it, but, right, I'm silly. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to burn more coal in order to power the Metaglass, and this will allow me to make stuff. So I need lead. Right, that's why I was working on lead. Okay, I just got distracted. I'm silly. Can I send route stuff more through here? I don't think I can. I could actually send another bridge right here. Go boom boom. I could route another bridge. I could also send one here and here. Like, one of the cool things about this one is it's not going to fill up with anything because... Actually, that is kind of awkward. Okay, let's do it like this. Check this out. Here's a super roundabout way of fixing this. I know that seems weird. Like, what just happened is... the problem is these bridge conveyors. This is actually kind of a clever trick of how I did this. So bridge conveyors, the end of them works like a router. So this becomes the input. They don't actually input behind the input. So, for example, so it goes through this, then it tries to spit it out right, bottom, and left. but it doesn't spit it out north because north is the direction it's coming from. So you can have a conveyor belt along here, it doesn't spit out resources, but any conveyors next to it, it would try and spit stuff out on. So I was going to, this was going like this before, and then I was trying to go down, but what would happen is this would spit it onto this conveyor instead. So I didn't want to do that. So what I did instead is I put a junction here. So it actually is, this bridge is putting silicone onto this junction, and then it's spitting it out this way. And then what I did is I made this one go straight. So because of this, I'm actually using this tile for both purposes. I'm using it to go south and I'm using it to go right because I don't have any room. Part of the reason I'm doing this, I can't put one here because otherwise it'll try and put coal on it. And I can use a junction instead to make it so stuff can go north and south, but I can't do that because then I'd also have to put something up here, and then this would do the same thing. Like, it's just big nastiness right here. Anyways, the cool thing about this is I can actually send stuff south this way. So here's the weird thing. Like, I can go like this junction, and then here we can do another bridge. Silicone is coming over here now, which is fine, and then what we'll do is go like this. Boop. Okay, so then we put a junction all through here. Now what's going to happen is it's going to try, it actually will fill this up with coal, but now I can have a bridge across here. So now I have 4 back and forth things right here. Okay, so this will become Metaglass. Oh, it's so pretty now. Like, the new graphics are like very glowy and stuff. I like it. Should I make it a little lower? Just in case. I just don't want to eat into my sand area too much. 3 Metaglasses. I don't know that I really need more than that. Metaglass, you don't actually... Well, okay. I am trying to gather as much as I possibly can for this mission, so I guess I will make 4. And then just... Oh, shoot. No, 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 no. No, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Very bad. I have to have it one farther away. Forgot. I need my inputs to be not touching. And as far as like rebuilding, the kilns are expensive to build, the resources they cost, so this is way cheaper. These only cost copper. So I wasted like 100 copper or something. So more worthwhile to do what I just did. Yeah, we'll just fix that real quick. Nope. Okay, make these all point down. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I've got lead, sand. I need power for it though, too. Let's quickly connect this to the base. See, this is kind of an interesting... By the way, this is actually kind of an interesting point to make. So, interesting thing about junctions is you can save space. Check this out. Here's an interesting trick that my friend was showing me. So, let's say you do this, and you're like, okay, because you have a narrow space, and that's all you have to work with. So you got this, got these shenanigans going on. You're like, all right, great. I have this narrow space, and that's all great, right? Well, if you... this does work if you're trying to get something through a narrow space, but what's actually better is to use a bunch of junctions. Now, let me explain how this works. So, okay, so here's this deal. This is a trick my friend showed me. So this takes up a lot of room, but you can accomplish the same thing by using junctions. Junctions are more expensive as far as they cost... Well, actually, no, they don't. They only cost 1 copper. Wow, they don't cost anything more. Anyways, so this, you can fit it into a tighter space because it's not as wide. So, like, look at this. So, from this corner to here is 3 blocks, but from here to here is only 2 blocks. So you're making it 1 block narrower diagonally. So there's a trick for using junctions, so instead it goes whoop, and does this funny little roundabout thing, and this goes like that. So you can use junctions to actually save a lot of space. So it actually is pretty cool. Anyways, I'm not doing that at the moment, but what I was doing here reminded me of that, so I just thought I'd show it real quick. Cool trick. We are going to make power real quick to energize these suckers. Now, let's see here. Alright, so I'm making Metaglass. Unfortunately, I am taking a lot of the power. It is actually kind of an interesting thing to know, though. Like, so these guys are not firing all the time because they don't have enough sand. So I can increase my sand production, and then these will fire more often. But when they're not firing, they're not using power. And likewise, these are not... Ooh, this is breaking. Why? There we go. Now it's correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to break these. And then we need to break these. They were all filled with lead. There we go. So now it should be evenly distributing everything properly. There we go. That looks better. So I fixed it. Anyways, yeah, what I was saying is that I don't have enough power to support all this, but they also aren't firing all the time anyway. So if they don't have enough resources, they're not going to fire regardless. So it's actually sort of okay right now. Once my production gets a little bit better, then this will be suddenly different. And I'm actually going to increase my production. Rather than making more buildings, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add pumps. So look at this. This costs 15 copper and 10 Metaglass, which is not very expensive. But what this will do is it works just like a, just like one of these guys. Oh, actually, speaking of which, look at that. This is not connected. Bloop, there we go. And this is not connected either. I wonder if let's do this. Distributor, boom. So they all go into distributor and just evenly distributes it along everything. There we go. So I don't have to worry about like trying to route more one way or another. It'll just fix itself. As long as these don't get plugged up. Like this actually is getting plugged up here, but I think once this clears up, it'll be okay. All right, look at that sand production. Yay. So now I just need more lead. But these are actually producing, well, I'm watching it in the bottom right corner. You can see the lead going away. It's also power is an issue though too. Okay, but check this out. So now that I have some metaglass, there we go. I finally have enough metaglass. So here's what I'm going to do. Put a single pump here and here. Now check this out. What happens is a pump makes 6 units of water. Okay, go to power, steam. Steam takes, it can hold up to 10 units of water, but you input up to 3 water per second. So you input coal and 3 water per second, and it generates 360 power, which is a ton. These guys generate, these combustion generators down here, generate 60 per 1 coal. So now, instead of having these, we break these, bloop, bloop, and instead we go like this. So you go boom, and make this go over here. So now what's going to happen is I'm suddenly out of power for a second. But what'll happen is these will supply a lot of power. I'm connecting all these steam generators. So notice it has water, it doesn't have enough coal. But anyway, so the interesting thing here is by having a pump right next to these, how it works is it's putting water into these. Just like literally it works the exact same way as these pneumatic drills. Speaking of which, speaking of drills, I don't have these touching here at all. There we go. That'd be nice to have. So check this out. So these have water constantly, and they're burning coal now, 360 power. Most of the time anyways, but if I hover over this, you can see how much power I have. I have like 600 or something. So check this out. So now let's go ahead and beef up all these drills to get more coal, because now coal is giving me lots and lots of power. So I can actually afford like energy towers this time, and I can also increase the production on some of my other buildings. So you know how my sand, I almost was running low on sand on my silicone production? So now I can do like this, because pumps are cheap. Okay, so check this out. So what that did is it's now made it so these pumps, or these drills, are drilling 2.6 something times the speed, whatever it was. Yeah, 2.56 times as fast. So it's almost like adding 1.5 more drills. So I just increased my sand production a lot. So look at that. Boom. Like so much sand. So that's kind of nuts. I can do the same thing up here too. My sand is actually great up here. I'm not even worried about that. I could use more metaglass is kind of the thing I'm hurting for. So you see the production stopped while I was working on power. I'm pausing a lot, so even though like real world time is progressing, I'm not using a lot of in-game time. So I was actually only out of production for like whatever 20 in-game seconds or something, whatever it is. It wasn't all that much. So I need more lead over here. Let's I would like to use this for offense. Let's go ahead and grab these. What I was saying earlier is I don't actually have conduits yet, but you can take water from a pump and then bring it over somewhere else. So say I wanted to make my lead production awesome. I can bring water over here and then produce off of that. So that would be pretty darn powerful. Now, do I want to bring lead to the guys over there, or do I want to bring scrap? I guess I might as well bring scrap. Scrap's kind of fun. I actually am not sure which one's better. I think that scrap might be better, actually. I kind of liked it in that last map I played for the anti-air. Or last map before that. I don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kill all these. And then I'll replace it with these. Let's go ahead and like do this for right now. Whoa, okay, that's not what I wanted it to do. I'll just do this. Whatever. Okay, so now what I did is I have all this lead production, and I have it going over here. Now what I could do, if I wanted to be even more nuts, is I could, in fact, I don't know, I was thinking about bringing all this lead and this lead, because this one's totally full. Once it unplugs, it might not be anymore, though. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start gathering scrap for anti-air. I need to start doing anti-air. I don't even know what's going on over there. I haven't been paying attention at all. I just assumed I had enough copper to deal with it. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Scrap, 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 scrap. Is there anything up in this corner? No. Okay, so something interesting about this game is that it's a little bit randomized as far as your starting locations. I'm not sure. I think the resources are just in set locations. So like there's always the patches are the same, I think. But there is some randomness to where your base is. So that changes from level to level. And I don't know how it decides or whatever, or if it's just total RNG or what. I think I have noticed that the maps are changing though, and I think that's actually due to updates and not due to procedural generation, but I could be wrong. It could be that the resources are like a little bit different each time you play a map, and I don't really know for sure, because I know, yeah, I don't know, just rambling. Okay, so the bottom one's going to be coal. I'll just do that real quick to get rid of that one little piece of coal. Boom. So I shouldn't need any ground towers all throughout here at all, so I'm just going to make some anti-air up here. And I don't know how much anti-air I need. My experience has been that just for like a couple air units, that basically 1 tower per air unit. So I haven't even seen any air units yet, so I'm probably only going to have like a couple right now. So it's not even going to be that big a deal. So this is way more than enough probably to deal with most of the stuff that could happen. So I'm not worried about it. This costs lead and copper, so it should be relatively cheap as far as ingredients that this costs. I'm going to go ahead and actually move this conveyor belt down so I can use this conveyor for or this space for something else instead. Here comes my scrap. Great, so now I got anti-air. Wow, that's a lot of production. I wasn't expecting it to, well, it's backlogged though. Maybe it'll clear up. Alright, it'll be great. It doesn't matter. In fact, if it's backlogged, it's fine. Who cares? How is my power doing on all these guys? Like, these are great. They just need more sand. Man, I have so much sand coming into it, though. Like, do I bridge it off? Like, I guess I'm gonna have to. Let's go ahead and do this. I hate to do this, but let's go ahead and just, like, send another whole thing down here. Delete. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. That didn't do what I wanted it to. Let's see how these guys are doing. That's fine. By the way, I need to get some menders up there. I have power now. In fact, I have like 800 power. So this should be good as far as some sand. Now that's to distribute the inputs a little bit better. Now as far as the outputs though, I still have too much coming from, well, I guess all these really. Okay, fine. We'll do this. Boom. And then we'll go like that. Okay, so this will take all these ones, and then these front ones, it'll do those. Now, as far as... There we go. Okay, so what I just did is I made it so that there's more inputs. So like, there's actually only a couple here. Wow, this is still full. Like, what is going on? So the sort of the cool thing here is, like, if I was going to route water, which I can't actually even do right now at this exact moment, I can launch some Metaglass, which that might be a smart thing. Okay, great. Barely. Life's good. Make a launch pad. We can actually even just do something like this. And then have this split some of these on here. And every 16 seconds this pulses. Can't even click it right now. Every 16 seconds it pulses and it sends those resources to the sky or whatever. What's my graphite looking like? I don't actually have tons and tons of graphite. This is the only one I want to send at the moment. The other thing I can do too, which is kind of fun, is I can tell it to send all the copper up there as well. So if the copper is overloaded, which maybe that would make more sense at a certain point. Like, I can set this up to an overflow gate here in a little bit. I just want to get the research for conduit maybe real quick. Maybe it only sends once it gets to 100 resources, but it still has a cooldown of 100 seconds, or 16 seconds. Maybe that's what it is. Regardless, my Metaglass... In fact, my Metaglass is producing too fast. I don't have enough belts for it. Okay, fine. I guess I should have... I'll just do it here. I wasn't really planning on doing that, but... because these aren't firing at all. So at that point, let's wait for this to pulse once it gets to 100. Okay, boom. And I'll just leave this here for now. In fact, I'll disconnect it though, so I'm not using up the power. But I can... So this is still built. I can delete it, but I'll waste those resources it costs to build these. It costs a lot of silicone, 75. So rather than sacrificing that, I'll just leave it as is. So now I got a full flow of Metaglass coming to the base. So now, check this out. I can hit escape, go to tech tree. I currently have 100 Metaglass there. So I can buy conduit, liquid junction. Liquid junction is awesome. Okay, so this works just like conveyor belts. Just like these, how I have routers and junctions and all that kind of stuff. You have the same kind of thing in liquid. So a conduit is just like a conveyor belt, but for water instead, or for liquids rather. A junction allows you to cross paths with water. So if you have water going one way and then cryofluid or slag or something going another way, then you can do that. What I actually want is I want this guy. I need a little bit more metaglass for that, so I'll buy that in a second. So this is a liquid router, so it splits it multiple directions. And the reason that's cool is because then you can do things just like I did here, where I have the pump. The pump is touching this. So because I put these right up against the edge of the water, I was able to build a pump, and it's putting water into both of these. But instead I can have a pump somewhere else, and I can have it put liquid into something else. Now, why would you want to do that? You'd want to do that in particular for example, I could, this is excessive of course, because these are, I'm limited by the size of my belts actually right now. I do actually have room to put like a couple more belts here, just like 2 more, I guess, on this side. So I could have more inputs going to the base, but I mean, in Metaglass, I guess, silicone, I guess, would be what I'd want to do. Now, silicone, my primary thing that's holding me back is actually my coal production. So a couple things I could do, which would be sweet. Oh, speaking of which, increase my coal productions, is I could route water with conduits over here and then junction them off to put water into all of these coal, for example, so it produces even more. This is so full. Okay, I need a better outflow here. This is bad. I like to do distributors here just to like make sure it's actually coming out nicely. Okay, so this will increase the production down here. This is going to power anyways, and it's not even getting all the coal half the time. Like this one isn't actually getting enough coal most of the time. So that's actually kind of rough. Like my power keeps like dipping back and forth. So this will help a lot once this distributes down here. But yeah, I can totally bring water over here. Maybe I'll have to use a couple pumps or something like that. I might have to move some of these things around to even do that, and I'll have to bridge across because I can't bridge water yet, but I can bridge some of these other things. Let's see. So what is my okay, liquid router, bridge conduit. Great. So this is a router, so it splits water multiple directions. This is a bridge for conduits. So I can make water go over a bridge to bring it somewhere else. Okay, so what do I need? If I had more coal, I could increase my silicone production, and I could also increase my power. So I think that's what makes the most sense. Now, as far as how much liquid this can hold 10 units of liquid per... I'm actually not even sure. I feel like that number is wrong. This is 6 units per second. This holds up to 10 units of water. But it's a little bit vague, so what I think I'm going to do is I think that tooltip is incorrect. So here's a bridge conveyor. What we can do is do something like this. You go boom, 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 or even actually, let's go like this. Here's a fun fact too. So you can build pumps in deep water, like normal buildings you can't build in deep water, but pumps you can. So here's what I got going on: is all this water, these 6 little crappy pumps. They don't cost anything, so they're really cheap. So these 6 little cheap pumps are putting water into these pipes, and notice that it takes a little bit for it to fill up. So I'm not actually worried about the fact that it can only transport 10 units per whatever. They're actually kind of vague on what that even means. I think I can do that. Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll bring it all the way down here to this junction, conduit, junction. Okay, so what's going to happen, you can watch it filling up with water now. And these are slowly filling up with water too. So you'll notice, like, look at my coal. What just happened here? It filled up really, really fast. As soon as it started getting water, it's like, boom, suddenly got faster. Like what happened with the sand, it's now, I increased the production of this by 2.5 times whatever it was. So notice in the bottom right corner, it says it's producing 0.92 per second. So that means I'm basically getting 1 coal per second from each one of these. So boom, 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 boom. It's spitting out coal, each one of these. So this conveyor belt cannot handle the flow of this coal now, which is awesome. That's what I like to hear. So now what do we do? So I am going to increase the flow of this right here. Let's do, like, say, a bridge to here. And then, like, this go over here. Let's make this make that go right there instead. I was gonna say I was gonna do some shenanigans with more overflow gates to make it go where I wanted, but I don't know that I care. I don't even know if this will all fit on one conveyor belt. I might have to have 2 just to even handle the capacity of this. So anyways, yeah, water is awesome. It is super, super good. So it doesn't matter that I don't really have a lot of coal on I mean, I have a pretty decent amount of coal on this map, way more than I had on the last map, but notice the production on this. Like, what is going on? This is insane how much coal this is. So I'm going to increase my silicone production a lot. So I'm bridging it across. I was splitting this and then evenly distributing it amongst these. Now I'm just sending a whole bunch of coal on this side, and then this guy has everything from over here and down there. Now, sort of the interesting thing to know about this is once you start being able to do water like this, you kind of don't even really need all of it. Like, for example, let's say I did this with copper. Like, let's say I managed to get, even if I'm not, like, say it's 4, you know, there's a whole cluster, like, maybe it's a better example, do it over here. Say I have a big chunk of copper right here. If I do something like this, and I go junctions, and have some water going into it, and then I do this. Boom, 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 boom. That right there produces, because each one of these produces 2.5 times what they normally do when it has water, then what happens is this little patch right here produces more copper than like this patch and like this patch all combined. Does that make sense? So it's kind of disgusting. Like, so instead of having like all this and having this route through here, instead if I route just a single thing of water down here and make this one right next to the base, instead of this middle one being copper, make it water, and then like maybe I have to shove this over, so instead of this being on 4, now it's on one single patch or whatever instead for the single drill. But these are all on 4 and they're all have water too. It is so much more efficient. Does that make sense? Like that increase right now, I don't care. There's no reason to change anything because I'm already full on copper. What I can do is I can get rid of all this though. Like because I'm full, I don't actually need all this anymore. So just I'm not going to actually do this, but so clear plan Q. I'm not going to actually do that, but I could, and the reason would be because, as you've noticed, I had to do all these weird workarounds just to get stuff south through here. But if instead I got rid of all these, I clear that all out so that I have room down here to put other inputs for new resources that I'm steadily working towards. So that'd be why you'd want to do that. Next, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to work power over here. And I'm still launching Metaglass, which I don't really have to do that. Well, the reason I was doing it is because I don't have enough capacity on my belts right now to get everything to the base. So I guess I still want it, unless I'm going to make more things going to the base. Besides, it's launching it anyways. Sort of the sad thing about that is when it's not at an ideal point, then it will waste potential resources. Oh, they blew this up. That's bad. I wonder if they always attack in the direction that my base is. Like, so if they're right here, will they attack just down? Are these menders safe if they were fully exposed? Or are they going to die if they stay there? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build more scatters over here. Alright, I unlocked Ruinous Shores, and I unlocked that wave too. So I think I'm done with everything I had to do on this level. So I just need to wait till wave 20 to launch. Okay, connect the power to these because they're not actually getting any power yet. Oh, so close. Okay, there we go. So these cost like 18 power a piece, which I have way more than enough for that. Okay, so I totally have more than enough anti-air in case stuff comes. Like I say, the only ground units are all going to go right here, so I think it's fine. Unfortunately, they're all just focus firing this one tower down. No, it was almost dead, is why it's taking a while to heal. But I'm not too worried about it. I might just even... Like, that doesn't hurt to do that, I guess. Alright, great. So this defense is fine. Copper's okay for now. Copper's only really good for the first, like, 20-30 waves, and after that, usually, most levels, it's just, like, awful. These first levels are really easy, though. Okay, so everything's great. I'm still launching Metaglass. I could make another whole route back down to base, but these are all going where I wanted to go anyways. What's the status of this, too? It looks like I need more sand, is what's preventing this from making any more. I already have water for these guys. But yeah, like you've seen though, adding a little bit of water is huge, like absolutely huge. I didn't realize how powerful water was. It's really, really strong. Yeah, they do enough damage where they're blowing these little guys up. These ones have enough health that they at least survive for a while, but these little guys are they're gonna blow up. They have a quarter of the health as the big blocks. So even though the big blocks take up more room, they don't die. Okay, so I guess I'm just waiting around until wave 20. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fast forward, I'm not going to skip through waves because I want to get as much Metaglass as possible. Metaglass. We can look at the upgrades though as long as we're waiting. So I got pumps, that's what I was expecting. Is there anything else that I got with Metaglass? Got the wave turret. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. So wave turrets are medium turrets that shoot liquids. I guess that's an interesting point. Hey, that's an interesting point. So now I can technically do that on this map. So I can make slag by melting scraps. I can take the scrap. In fact, I can even... Why don't we just do that, just to show? Just for fun. Just for funsies. So let's see here. We need a melter. Oh yeah, here's another point too. Check this out. So Scorch, I was saying before, I was like, Scorch is terrible because it takes coal. I didn't want to make it. Let's try it though. Let's just destroy all these, just because I want to see. We'll remake all these routers, because right now the ones that were there were filled up with copper or whatever. Now let's take coal right here. Bloop, bloop. I don't care that it's touching this because that's just going to put coal on it. It's fine. Let's reroute all this up here. Now, unfortunately, this is the coal that's going to my Metaglass, so that is reducing my Metaglass production. Okay, so this is going to fill these up with coal. I want to see how good these are, and then meanwhile, I also want to see... Let's put another router here. This will route scrap up here, and then we'll put it into a melter. We'll stop. Boom. And then melters, we'll put it into a wave turret. And then we'll also put a single conduit right here. Okay, so what's going to happen is this immediately melts. It's powered, so it's creating slag. Slag goes, bloop, it goes into this guy. In fact, we can actually even do another one. Let's do another one like that. Wave turret. So again, this is liquid. It works just like the pumps that you saw earlier, but just pumping slag instead. Now, slag is a molten liquid that does burning damage. Now, it sets things on fire. I think I might even be able to set my own towers on fire. So that's one of the dangers of slag. You can fill this up with water as well. Water will put out fires that happen on your blocks. Like in the last video, I kept having my blocks being set on fire by some flamethrower dudes. There were these big, beefy guys that were in front, and they were like melee range, really close range, and they only attacked one tower at a time. But so they're incendiary, so they set people on fire, and that's all great. Water will meanwhile knock enemies back, which I guess I haven't really paid much attention to that, but that might be kind of interesting. But yeah, slag is supposedly good, I guess. Go back. So there we go. So what'll happen is it'll just try and send coal over here from these guys, and if it's too full, then it will send it back to make Metaglass. I know this is like really roundabout way of doing this. It's just quick, is all I was trying to do. Okay, so it's going to send all the coal over here, and then if it's full, it'll send it back. Boom. I want to see how good these are all out of ammo now. I really do want to see how good these Scorches are. This might be kind of risky, or like I'm wasting my defense right here. So they're all filled with coal. That actually didn't take that long. So like I was saying before though, like you look at this and you say, well, it's not a lot of coal. You don't really need a lot of coal. If you have a couple of these and it's filling up all your towers, and then just send all the overflow back, that's all you really need. I did a lot because of these towers, because I just wanted to make sure that I could see it soon. We're gonna go ahead and build more Scorches. I want to see how good this is if I have a bunch of them. I haven't really made these yet. They cost Graphite. They're pretty close range though. In this particular defense where I'm forcing them to go through a narrow passage, I think that's actually pretty good. I'm worried about this enemies blowing this kind of stuff up though. So maybe, there we go. So even if they do walk through that a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world here. Let's put another one of these right here. Well, yeah, it looks like they're blowing them up instantly. This one is blowing them up instantaneously. That's actually kind of crazy. How much damage do they do? Maybe their damage is really good. Shots 1. They do 6 damage times 3, and they set them on fire. Versus a duo does 9 damage times 2. Isn't that the same amount of damage? Well, actually, wait a second. Remember correctly, wasn't it? It does this damage, but then didn't it say its attack speed was, like, really crazy? Or was that? Shots per second, 12. Versus a duo... shots per second, 3. See what I mean? So this the problem is the damage is actually pretty similar per ammo. Per ammo, the damage is actually not that different, but this unloads its ammo very, very fast. So it does higher burst damage, is I guess the difference. Ooh, this is not getting... That one's not getting ammo for some reason. Yeah, some of these are not getting ammo. Let's replace this. Hopefully that'll fix the problem. Nope. Nope. What are you doing? Okay, we'll just do that. Still doesn't have ammo. I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Let's watch this, though. These are all the kamikaze guys. They're blowing up as soon as they hit the towers anyway. But yeah, I think these are... It's filling up instantly with ammo. I don't know. These actually seem like they're pretty decent. I think for a sustained fight, these are bad, like really bad. But for just unloading a lot of damage in a very quick succession, they're pretty darn powerful. So that's actually interesting. I'm glad I checked that out. I do have some other electric towers I could show. In particular, as far as what's interesting, I didn't actually, you know, I wasn't paying attention to these at all. We should watch these. This is the last wave before I can leave, because then we're going to be on wave 20. I could wait. I'm actually not sure what the requirements are for any other missions. Let's see. I already unlocked Ruinous Shores. Is there another requirement after this? This also leads to overgrowth. I don't know what this leads to. Did it say earlier? It said it had an achievement or whatever. I tried looking it up on a wiki before I started this map too to see what the requirements were for the next map. I couldn't quite figure it out. What does my my resources look like? Oh, silicone's full. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier. So if silicone fills up, overflow gate. I was meaning to do this and never did. All right, so what it's doing is it's sending all the overflow of copper stuff over here in silicone. You can only do it once every 16 seconds, so this might be a total waste because I'm gonna look at this real quick. Let's watch these turrets. I can't even really see how good they are. It looks like they slowed them down though, what just happened. Yeah, but anyway, Scorches seem like they're solid, if you have the coal to support it anyways. I guess it's just like anything else, like, all these towers are good. These are full. Yeah, I'm gonna cancel this. This is bad. I should just send only silicone. Silicone's awesome. It's weird that I still only have 2k of Metaglass. I guess I've been spending a little bit of it. I don't know. Well, actually, okay. Was it Scorches? Do they cost that? No. Of course, I had them unlocked for a little while now. Okay, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and launch. But otherwise, I'm done with this mission, I guess. So I guess as one more comment is that a regular belt can only support up to 3 of any given production generator thing at a time. So this one isn't firing at all because it's full of power and it's full of resources, so it is trying to, but it just doesn't have anywhere to put it, so it's not even doing anything. If I had a second belt, I could do 3 generators per each belt, and I could have a full solid belt going all the way. It's a little bit late for this, the mission's about to end, but I could do something like this and route this all the way, go across, whatever, and then send my excess Metaglass as well as my excess silicone, because then this isn't generating at all right now. So instead, if I did like this, have 2 Metaglass generators doing that, and then, because this is going to clear up, then this third one will finally be able to start producing. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now it's finally unloaded enough where I can do it. Okay, so now 3 can fit on this just barely. It's almost, they're probably still filling up a little bit, but now this 4th one is generating finally, and it's sending it, along with that. I wasn't meaning to have it do that. Doesn't matter, I'm about to end this mission, so it doesn't matter. But sending it all the way up here, this is still getting power. I'm sending Metaglass, but I'm also going to send silicone now with that. So if I had noticed that sooner, I could have been actually utilizing my resources a little bit better. But anyways, I just wanted to share that real quick. So I'm actually going to launch, and we'll send this to the base. Woo! Rank B-. I think it's actually, I think the rank is often based on the number of buildings that you deconstructed. I think it's counting, the reason it's so high is because it's counting conveyor belts as well, which is kind of silly. I did lose some buildings, that's just from them blowing up my towers, or my walls, but I don't care about that. So yeah, everything's great. Alright, so we completed the craters, yay, and I got to wave 20. I don't actually know, so this one required wave 20, or wave 15 reached in that one, so I'm good to go here, so I'm going to go ahead and uncover this, because I have all this research done. Bloop. So now, Ruinous Shores, this map's really fun. Now, I do have scrap on this map as well. Unfortunately, I need... Oh, it's so sad. I need a little bit of titanium to actually make melters. I think I can actually do that, though, because this map also has a lot of scrap walls and stuff I can blow up that give me a little titanium. Once I have enough titanium that I can go ahead and make melters, then I'll be great. So that I might actually be capable of that, but I need the research to even make the building. So I think what it's going to make sense is actually do Stain Mountain next, because I'd really like to utilize the scrap in this map. It would be so awesome to be able to do that. Alright, so as far as tech, I think I've actually already unlocked it in the last mission, but just to go over again in case somebody like skipped to the end or whatever, I was launching Metaglass in the middle of that mission. So I got the wave turret, which shoots out liquids. I'm not actually entirely sure how good that is. I feel like I'd rather just use other resources, but it just depends. If you have water nearby or other liquids that you can use, or you have scrap and you want to convert it into slag, then that's an option to set things on fire, because then they take damage over time. I guess I do have this. Oh, I didn't have this before. Okay, so that's new research. But otherwise, I got conduit, I got liquid junctions, liquid routers, and liquid bridges, and that all does exactly what it sounds like. It's just like regular conveyor belts, it just does it with liquids instead. So you make pumps, you route the liquid out with different buildings, whatever, and you can do things with them. Liquid is super, super powerful, super awesome. Okay, other new things that I can finally unlock now that I have Metaglass. Also, by the way, I have 5,000 Metaglass, which is great. I'm actually not sure what the limit was on that map. I think it was 4,000. I wasn't even paying attention, but I just think I got over the limit of what I could possibly get, I think. Okay, copper, or whatever. This is a thermal generator. Now, this is a little bit confusing. Like, what is thermal? Thermal is like, we even actually saw it during the tutorial in the first mission. There was like little, it looks like, little beans or something on the ground. Like little, like kind of like, whoop, little or like Cheetos. They look like Cheetos. That's what I was thinking, little curvy things. So there's like all these little orange Cheetos on the ground. And what that does is it represents heat on the ground. So you place a thermal generator on it and it generates power. Now this does cost a little bit of Metaglass, silicone, and graphite to build. So it does require a little bit of resources. So you can't really just build it right off the bat. But this is free power. I think the amount of power it makes is not all that great. Actually, in fact, this doesn't show... Okay, yeah. Base power generation, 108. I think it's 108 total. That's for 4 total tiles of heat, so to speak. So if you have only 1 or 2 tiles you're covering up, then it doesn't produce as much. So it works just like mining. It's just the fact of what you put it over will determine how much power it generates. And it just costs a flat amount to build in the first place. So if you have the resources to make, you can get free power, which is great. It's just steady income of power that doesn't require any other ingredients, which is awesome. Most of the maps do not have heat though, so it's not like something you can use all the time, but I will keep an eye on that because if there is heat, I would definitely like to utilize it for free power. Like I showed though, like if you have just enough coal to support, like here's the thing, even if you have just a little bit of coal, then steam is amazing because it just costs a little bit of coal, but then all you got to do is once you get to the point where you are generating Metaglass, you can bring water to your coal and then increase your coal production, and then it just makes everything happier. So like I still feel like steam is more worthwhile overall in comparison. And actually one thing, can this be boosted? It doesn't look like it. I was going to say if this can be boosted with water, that'd be cool. I think most of the power generators don't do that though. You can overcharge them later with a different building, so that's different. Anyways, Spirit Repair Drone Factory produces a Spirit Structural Repair Drone. Now, this is very interesting. Drones are... In fact, actually, I was going to show that this last time, but I didn't do that. Drog Miner Drone Factory. This is another cool thing. I could have done that. I totally should have. I'll show it maybe in this next map, because it's very powerful. There's some funny tricks you can do with drones. So, I was saying in my first couple videos that I felt like that... Drog miner drones were kind of worthless. I have changed my mind. They're actually really, really powerful, especially with a trick that you can do with power. Same way how I've been disconnecting my alpha mech pad. Like I turn into a mech and then I disconnect the power, so this isn't actually using power, so I'm routing everything to my menders. Same way you can create drones. They only cost power to make. That's it. Once you have this here, you give it 72 power, it builds a drone, you disconnect it, and now you have a drone that's running around mining copper and lead for you. And they don't mine anything else. But what that means is, if you have a bunch of these, you make a whole bunch of them, because it just costs copper and lead. That's super cheap, honestly. Like you spend... So if you build like 10 of these, and then you connect them with power, then you disconnect them all, then what happens is now you have all these drones that are mining stuff for you. You can get rid of all of your copper and lead mines. Does that make sense? So your base is just totally clean. The only inputs you have going to your base are like silicone and Metaglass and graphite, and that's it. That's it. You don't have any copper or whatever coming to you because these miners are getting them all the time. And the only way they can go away is if they get destroyed. So if flyers somehow get to your base and they start blowing everything up, then these guys will blow up. But otherwise, they'll just keep mining away forever, and it's awesome. Likewise, so that's just an explanation of what these guys are. So Spirit Repair Drones are kind of similar. What they do is you build them, you connect power to them, then you can disconnect power. They cost silicone to make. You have to actually put silicone and lead into the tower, though, which is kind of weird. These guys don't. You just build them. so you don't have to have any other inputs other than power. This one requires that you give it silicone and lead. So what you want to do is you do things like you make it so that your lead input going to your base, whatever, that it passes by these or something, for example, and you just put some routers on it, and once this is full, then it will just continue leading everything to the base. So you do something like that. So your production line of these resources is putting stuff into these. Once they're full, it's done. So you do something like that. However, the placement of spirit repair drones, what they do is they fly around and they shoot to like pew, 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 and they shoot blocks that are damaged. Their healing is just kind of okay. What's interesting about them is their range is insane. They can travel so far. I don't even know how to explain. Like, you build one right here in the middle of the screen, and it will travel like 2 screen distances in every direction. So it has this like huge radius that it'll patrol, and it just kind of flies around in a circle around this generator or whatever. So you build it and it's like, and it just patrols. As soon as something gets damaged anywhere nearby, it flies over and does it. Now, its range is really, really good. So what's cool about this is if you do have flyer stragglers, like getting into your base or whatever, like rather than building a whole bunch of menders, you can build one of these and it'll repair everything. And again, same deal. If you disconnect the power to this, after it's created, then it'll just hang out and do its thing until it gets destroyed. So if you build like 3 or 4 of these, give them all silicone and lead, connect them to power, let them build, disconnect the power, and now they'll just keep everything like a huge defense. They'll keep everything healed unless they blow up. So it's really, really cool, and it's in particular going to be really awesome for this next map. So I'm about to do Stained Mountain. Our inputs to our base are a little bit more strained. Not making a pun on the word stained, but it's a little bit more intense as far as we don't really have a lot of room to get stuff to our base for some of these starting positions. Not all of them, but some of these starting positions on this map are a little bit awkward. Like you don't really have the room. Like you saw some of the funny things I was doing here with bridges and stuff trying to get inputs to the base. This one can be potentially a little bit more awkward like that. So having the ability to make Drog Miner drones to get copper and lead for us, so we don't have to deal with those inputs going to the base, is pretty nice. And then likewise, we have this huge area to defend, and if I can protect against air on one side pretty easily and then route all the ground units to one location, but I'm going to need healing all along that entire distance, so I can make a lot of steam and then power a ton of menders, or I can use silicone and lead to make spirit repair drones, which is what I'm going to try to do. So that's going to be the exciting things for next time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure, and I will continue with this next time. And so yeah, my name's Caleb Simpson. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe, etc. Make more videos like these, as well as walkthroughs and stuff. And I do stream on Twitch on a regular basis as well. You guys are awesome. Have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.